Welcome to Authentic with Brazil 201. I'm your host, Brazil 201. And on today's episode, we're going to talk about the fourth Anne Hathaway movie of the year. Wow. Fourth. The End of Oak Street, which, by the way, is the best dinosaur movie since the first Chris Pratt Jurassic World series of movies, which I know isn't saying a lot because basically Jurassic World 2, 3, and whatever that fucking Scarlett Johansson one was were fucking awful. But legitimately, this movie is a very entertaining dinosaur movie that I assume everyone is saying this is a part of the Cloverfield universe. I guess it is because there was one fucking tweet in that Netflix Cloverfield movie. And this is more of the annoying thing with J.J. Abrams is that J.J. Abrams tries to be coy with it. He's like, maybe it is connected, maybe it's not connected. Who really knows? But anyway, the movie takes place in 1982 because, of course, it does, because everything is Stranger Things. Wink, wink. And the movie begins with they live in like a nice white suburban flyover state cul-de-sac town. Think of like Ed and Eddie, or even like where the Stranger Things kids did. Basically, think of this as Hawkins, Indiana, because this basically could be Hawkins, Indiana. Okay, and Anne Hathaway is there, and she's having fun at the summer block party. She talks to her older neighbor, who is an old lady, and she has a weird tree growing in her backyard. And she takes a picture of it because she has a disposable camera that prints out the photos like all the TikTok girls do currently in 2026. Right? And her husband, Obi-Wan Kenobi, I refuse to call him by whatever the fuck his name is in this movie, but Obi-Wan Kenobi, who says he works for Chrysler, is like, the place wants me to deliver some pizzas. So he's also like a pizza delivery guy. And Anne Hathaway is ashamed that she is married to a man who delivers pizzas. Boy, is she ahead of the curve. Because think of all the women who are currently in their 20s fucking a guy who's an Uber Eats or DoorDash delivery guy, right? For shame. She has two really stupid children. One that likes to carry a bow and arrow that thinks he's Oliver Queen. And by the way, I want to just say this is one of my fucking pet peeves that has been with a lot of movies post 2021 is the fucking children, because the children are obsessively stupid in this movie. And like in the first Quiet Place movie, the one stupid kid makes noise and gets killed, and you're like, yes, thank God. Right. But then every other movie we've had, like the superhero movies, they'll have some annoying sidekick kid hero. These children are so fucking stupid. And look, Anne Hathaway's character is basically 1980s version of Andy from Devil Wears Prada, who's like, I want to be a writer. Right? And she wrote a book apparently at how she was just going to leave her kids and husband one day with a yellow umbrella. Okay, Ted Mosby, and go to New York and start a new life because she really hates her family. You know what? We love that for you, Anne Hathaway. I can't even remember what the fucking name of the Anne Hathaway's character is in this, which really says a lot. But yeah, so that happens, and she goes to the library to try to research what this plant is. And the librarian lady, who's this Asian chick, is like, there's no way that actually is there. That's from like 200 million years ago. It's from the Cretaceous period. She's like, what? Really? Oh my God. Also, they have a dog named Starbucks that constantly bites children. So this plays a plot in it. Very annoying, stupid dog, right? That happens. Uh dude Obi-Wan comes home after delivering pizzas, has the dorky kid help him get pizzas sign off their car, right? Flashlights happen, right? And they wake up. Yeah, giant lightning happens. There's a rainstorm, and poof, they wake up. Okay, we see the neighbor across the street. He's ready to go to work, right? He drives away, and then he floors back 5 minutes later, running to his house. But the children don't notice this. They have the neighbor from hell, because once again, this is an interesting thing because they're in Hawkins, Indiana, that the neighbor hates the Anne Hathaway family so much because the children are constantly pulling pranks or whatever. And remember, this is 1980s, right? There's no ring for proof so you can go press charges and whatever. But there's giant dookie in his backyard, like a lot of dookie. Okay, so that's happening. And then we just see people running and hear noises. Okay. Then there's a pterodactyl and the dog got loose and they're kind of confused. And what do we know? They see the dinosaurs and they're so confused at what the fuck is happening because the power doesn't work. By the way, the clock stops at 11:05. The power doesn't work. The water doesn't work. They're driving around. Okay. They see hot water. By the way, the climate is completely different because now that they're 200 million years ago, they're super hot. Okay. They're 200 million years ago. Somehow, I assume, transporting humans from the 1980s to 200 million years ago. There's got to be pathogens in the air that either they would infect or would infect them, but whatever. They drive around, they just see giant dinosaur trees, and then they're really high up. They're like, okay, we got to border up the house, blah, 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 blah. Okay. And then we see while they're driving random velociraptor type dinosaurs just killing and eating their neighbors. So like, oh my God, we got to save Starbucks. But you know what? They're like, Starbucks is a smart dog. He'll find his way home. So they begin bordering it up. Okay. They were going to go like camp in the basement, but the basement has been flooded. Okay. And Anne Hathaway is crying because her manuscript was down there. Now, before the rain happens and they get sent back in time with the light, the Obi-Wan Kenobi's like, how about because the storm is so crazy, we all sleep on the ground floor together? Okay, they do that. Then Obi-Wan and Anne Hathaway are fighting. He's like, I got fired from my job. But guess what? It doesn't fucking matter anymore because for some reason we're 200 million years in the past. So it really doesn't matter. So yeah, you're married to a fucking pizza delivery driver, but maybe he's not even a pizza delivery driver anymore because we're in the past. And he's like, you wanted to leave us anyway. I read your book. Okay, you hate your children, you hate us, and all of it. Yeah. So they're trying to survive. The shitty neighbor, for whatever, shoots pistols at the pterodactyls, gets killed by the pterodactyls. Then what happens? Their house starts shaking because like a T-Rex type dinosaur shakes their house. They're like, oh my God. Okay, they see oh yeah, then it's the next night. It's nighttime. They see their dog. Their dog is being chased by a dinosaur. The stupid Oliver Queen child leaves his house and like begins to chase the dog with his fucking bow and arrow that shoots wooden bows. The nerdy lesbian daughter, which plays in later, chases after him. They pass through their neighbor's backyard. There's a giant and an ancient dinosaur snake that's like in the neighbor's pool that's just slithering around and all of it. And they're just running around looking for the dog. And then they run into more dinosaurs. Then he gets jumped by two bullies. And this is where I'm confused as how the two bully neighbor kids have been surviving for 2 days. Why the fuck are there so many children running around now in night 2 of 200 million years in the past? Okay. Yeah. And then Anne Hathaway goes to their old neighbor's house, takes their gun, shoots dinosaurs, whatever. Anne Hathaway and Obi-Wan realize the kids escaped. They're hunting for the kids. They're chasing dinosaurs. They hit. Oh, a T-Rex begins chasing their car, and somehow an explosion happens in a house, right? And it begins to do a chain reaction of all the houses getting on fire because of the climate or whatever. And there's like turtle dinosaurs. Oh, by the way, the dinosaurs look really good. They're all feathery because like now we know that dinosaurs were more like birds. Like they're all feathery, which is cool. It looks really cool. The dinosaurs look amazing, by the way. Much better than the last 3 Jurassic World movies. Okay, hands down, these dinosaurs look almost as good as the first Jurassic Park movie, like the one from the 90s. The Oliver Queen boy and the lesbian daughter meet up with this black girl who like went to private school, and that's her whole personality. She went to private school. Apparently her parents died in the after they got sent back to the past. They're hiding in their neighbor's house because apparently their house, the black girl's house, was on the border of what got sent to the past and what didn't. So her house got cut in half, and her parents immediately got killed by dinosaurs, so she's been hiding out in her neighbor's house, who's just there. They see Anne Hathaway and Obi-Wan Kenobi. They catch them and all of it, and they're like, "This is our friend. Can she stay with us? Her parents were killed." They're like, "Sure, sure, sure." The T-Rex comes, by the way. So the T-Rex is chasing them. The T-Rex chases Anne Hathaway. She shoots the T-Rex. Obi-Wan Kenobi uses a hammer or a mallet like a lightsaber. No, but before this, fuck, I keep forgetting. Before they run into the kids, um, they run into two dinosaurs having doggy style sex on top of a house, and Anne Hathaway takes a picture of Obi-Wan Kenobi next to the two dinosaurs having sex on top of the house. By the way, just want to say this scene, the dinosaur porno sex scene, goes on for 3 minutes and 35 seconds. Just so we're aware. Very long running joke on this. Okay. So she has that photo. Back to the T Rex chasing them. Yeah. Okay. So Obi-Wan Kenobi uses the hammer or mallet or whatever against the dinosaur on the T Rex on its leg. The T Rex then grabs Obi-Wan by the leg with the mouth, bites his leg off, and is just blushing, gushing blood, and then just eats him. And then afterwards, like, oh my God. And the children are just watching, like, oh my God. And then for whatever reason, they're not running. They're just standing there and crying because it's not like the T Rex will chase them. So then they go away. Okay. So they're back in their house, in her house, in Anne Hathaway's house. And they're like, okay, we got to find the portal to go back home because Obi-Wan and Anne Hathaway accidentally saw a portal that looked like their home somewhere and it vanished. So they're like, at night, when we see the bright light, we're going to head towards it. And that is probably our best chance home. They're packing the supplies to try to make it or whatever. Meanwhile, the giant anaconda snake thing sneaks into the house. No one hears it, right? We just see it go through it because the black girl's listening to music in the bathroom. The other girl is listening to music in her bedroom. And um, the Oliver Queen boy notices it. The snake is about to eat Anne Hathaway. The boy shoots the arrow. The snake gets really angry, slides up to bed it, and tries to go into the boy's bedroom. The two girls are just screaming. Anne Hathaway gets a sharp knife and she's just stabbing the shit out of the snake nonstop, hoping it fucking hurts it and stops it and kills it. And just good for her. Good scene, gets a lot of rage out, right? The snake disappears. They go on the roof. They see the house on top of the hills has this bright light that looks like the portal. They head there. Okay. It is the house of the librarian, whatever. And we get a scene of the librarian chick with a shotgun, holding it, waiting it. And then another scene of her husband, the librarian husband, being eaten by like dinosaurs. Okay, they all end up on the roof. They see the portal and they're trying to time it so they can like hit it. And they learn it's 10 seconds exactly from when it appears to when it disappears, but they don't know if it's gonna stay. Black girl goes in, she jumps in it, boom. Okay. They're about to throw Oliver Queen through it. They do. Portal disappears, breaks his leg. So they gotta go down, get him. Dinosaurs are chasing them. Asian librarian chick kills one of the dinosaurs, sacrifices herself. And then Anata's way is like, we're gonna jump together, boom, do this. The portal opens on top of a pool of a black woman in 1982. They all land in the pool. That's their first shower in like 4 days after being in Dinosaur Land. The black girl's like, what you people doing in my house? And she's like, what year is it? She's like, it's 1982. Get the fuck out of my house. Okay. So they get out, they're on the driveway, and they see it's 10:45. They look at the news, it's July 11th. Okay, so they're like, yo, it's 25 minutes before they get sent into the past. So when they go to the payphone, Anne Hathaway orders a pizza so that her shitty husband isn't um, there when the bubble thing sends the town to the past. The black girl from previous is trying to get her family. So they're out there. Anne Hathaway apparently has been making a lot of phone calls to certain people to get them the fuck out. So like, you got to get to the top of the hill within 25 minutes. She's calling collect. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. 11:05. The pizza comes. They cry. Anne Hathaway explains real quick what the fuck's about to happen. Okay. Bubble appears. Boom. Entire town gone. And then what's in its place is a bunch of fucking dinosaurs. And the houses that were on the border of the town that just went to the past are now being chased by fucking dinosaurs. And then we flash forward 2 years, and we see that the U.S. military came in, secured the zone, killed the dinosaurs. The army went in, and Anne Hathaway writes a book called The End of Oak Street about what happened to her in the past. And this is where, and then there's like a scene of her with the black family from before of the girl they saved in the past. And we learn the people Anne Hathaway told is their neighbor, the librarian, and the old lady. Okay, basically everyone that helped her in the past. I'm like, okay. We also see now there's two versions of the black girl because when they go back in the past, I mean, when she goes to warn them, the herself is there, right? That so they're doing the Agents of Shield version of time travel slash branch timelines where they go back and they're creating branch timelines because you can't change the past. So basically, a version of Anne Hathaway got sent to the past again, but because Obi-Wan Kenobi didn't go home, there was the Anne Hathaway of that family was in the basement when the house went to the past. And as we see, that basement got flooded instantly. So Anne Hathaway most likely instantly drowned. That version of Anne Hathaway instantly drowned, and the children were just there, and the children are fucking stupid, so the children probably died instantly, and whatever. Okay, and it's like a causal loop. So that happened, and there you go. There were bunch of fucking dinosaurs randomly came into 1982. Maybe some escaped, whatever. But that is how and I think that would have been a cool movie, seeing what they do with the exhibits. Now, what is interesting, because like the news and the government knows of who like were warned by it. Realistically, Anne Hathaway would have been like sent to some facility because this version of Anne Hathaway, the one that we see, went 200 million years ago and then back to the present, which means who knows if she's carrying pathogens from prehistoric time, right? Also, there are now two versions of that one black girl, right? So how are they, that? Okay, and now also Anne Hathaway is still with the shitty version of her husband, the one that didn't have any character growth, the one that's a complete fucking scumbag. Okay, like the loser version of Obi-Wan Kenobi, not the one that like redeemed himself and became brave and all this other bullshit. So, yeah, that's the end of Oak Street. I guess it's a part of the Cloverfield universe. Cool movie, cool premise, good for Anne Hathaway. I, you know what? I'm glad at least a version of for fucking her children get fucking murdered in Dinosaur Land. Ugh.